Hello, and welcome to Marketplace with Charles, brought to you by Art of Skincare. Art of Skincare, the company that brings out the beauty in you. For in Art of Skincare, we bring that everyone is born beautiful, including your wife, whom you think she's now very, very ugly. If she uses Art of Skincare, that beauty which lies within her can shine out, can come out. Art of Skincare will turn people into beauty. For God created everything beautifully so. Nothing was created ugly. Allow me to thank our new sponsor as well, Kuisa Lodge, situated in the heart of Mabalingwe Nature Reserve. That's where the big five roam freely. Sit around your veranda, you watch the elephant coming to drink water on your swimming pool. What a lovely sight. I am Charles Ngobeni. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, encourage, and equip you with the right tools that you need to move closer to you achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we'll bring you insight from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith, but also from ordinary people from all walks of life, including the young men that we have today. We do not discriminate, both young and old. We are joined again by a young man that is described as a man on a mission to educate and inspire the youth in his community. He is the founder and the CEO of the Motivational Drive, an organization that focuses on well-being of communities in terms of financial education, life coaching, empowerment and mental enrichment, as well as business education. One of the most powerful subjects that have been ordained by God to make a difference in life is that of giving. Companies that thrive on the support of the communities that they provide goods and services to should also make it part of their marketing strategy to invest in the communities that support their businesses. My guest today has more to say about this subject. Help me welcome Lehlohonolo Thoabala today in your home, your house, maybe at the hotel where you're watching from. Lehlohonolo, we welcome you on Marketplace.
Thank you so much. It's really a great honor for me to be on this show, to be sitting directly with you. You know, I look up to you so much, so thank you so much. And to the viewers, wherever you're watching from, I hope you get a lot from this show. Thank you so much.
I am also looking up to you as well.
Oh, wow.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know if there is growing up after this, you know, but obviously there is, but I'm humbled.
For the sake of the viewers who missed our last episode,
yes,
do you mind to tell them who Lehlohonolo Thoabala is?
Oh, wow. Now, Lehlohonolo Thoabala is a social entrepreneur. As you say, the founder and CEO of a social entity organization, the Motivational Drive, which has more objectives similar to this show, as this show's aim is to empower, encourage, and equip entrepreneurs with the right tools needed to move towards their entrepreneurial dreams. So we aspire to bring such information to empower the youth, emancipate the mindset through bringing relevant information, because I've realized that in this day and time, information is very much important and critical. If you can check, each and every growth, each and every transformation is traceable to a certain information that is brought to you in life. You know, life is transformed as the mind is renewed. As in the Bible it says, be ye transformed by what? The renewal of the mind. So we try to renew minds of aspiring entrepreneurs, people from all walks of life through various platforms of education. Yes.
Last time we spoke about your failures.
Yes.
Where you failed to pass matric.
Yes, sir.
Having overcome the failure and setbacks in your life, what do you think sets you apart from the people who seem to think that what you are doing is impossible?
Wow. I believe what sets me apart, I'll quote Mark Twain, where he said that someone that does not read has no advantage over someone that cannot read. You know, what sets me apart is the mindset. because I've deeply immersed myself in personal development, the material that I read. An average 24-year-old, not to diss anyone that's watching the show, but looking at an average 24-year-old, most of them are watching trace, music videos. Most of them are looking out for the next party to go to. Most of them are looking out for where to cheat, But myself, I have decided through the grace of God to move myself and to place myself in part of the 10% way. Instead of watching TV, I'd rather read a book. Instead of going out, I'd rather listen to audios, attend seminars, surround myself with businessmen like yourself, So I believe what sets me apart is the mindset, the things that I read, because you are 90% what you consume. So I believe that's what sets me apart.
You are 90%
of what you consume.
Of what you consume. I love that. I love that.
Thank God.
People that don't even read books, they don't even go to seminars.
That's it.
They depend too much on personal revelation. I have been all over the world. I listen to great men and women of God. What I've realized is exactly what you're saying, that 90% of what they are saying, they have read it or they have heard it from someone else. And it's only the 10% which is their personal revelation.
And that's true.
We need to read books. We need to study, But I understand you're from Limpopo.
Yes, sir.
Having been part of the communities in Limpopo, that's where you come from.
Yes, sir.
And also in Gauteng, where you work closely with some communities. Yes, what have you noticed about these communities that makes you to have a heart for them?
Wow. Just before answering your question, you mentioned on a very critical issue, which is revelation. Because just by watching this show, the viewers are being informed. And that's revelation. And being informed and fail to be transformed, it's useless, The revelation that you're getting from this show, if you are not going to be in action, because revelation without action is just decoration. If you get this information and you fail to take whatever that's been said from the various speakers that come to this platform and put it into action, you're just as good as someone that's not even watching this show, So the communities that I worked closely with, what really moves me about them is their love and support for entrepreneurs. This day it's way much better than back then. I mean, most people are supporting black entrepreneurs. They are buying more into what we have to sell. So they're really supporting and they're really trying by all means to make a living. If you can look at our old grandmoms, and they would strive. I was talking with my friend when we saw another lady. She had things on the head. They're still striving to make a living. So as businesses, as we meet them and through CSI or just through our willingly so hard to give, just meet them halfway. We're really making a huge impact. Yes.
Revelation without action is just decoration. That is Lehlohonolo Thoabala. After the break.
Join Marketplace with Charles, 11-day tour of the Holy Land. Take the route Israel traveled from Egypt to the Promised Land. Cross over the Red Sea and float on the Dead Sea, the lowest point on earth with healing properties. Experience the vibe of Jericho and cruise on the Sea of Galilee to Capernaum, the hometown of Jesus. Visit the pools of Bethesda, Nazareth, Bethlehem, and many more. Walk where Jesus walked and see the Bible come alive. Return via Egyptian pyramids of Giza and explore the rich history of the mother of civilization. If beautiful memories and an enriched spirit is what you're looking for, then join us in taking Jesus to the marketplace through Israel and Egypt. For more information, call +27 11 804 7550 or email israel@artofskincare.co.za.
Welcome back to Marketplace with Charles. I am still sitting here with my lovely guest, Lehlohonolo Thoabala.
Bless the Lord.
Lehlohonolo, tell me, have you done any form of research it may be formally or informally, the finding which you feel you wish to share with aspiring business people and established businessmen or women out there who might be watching the show?
Wow. Now, I've done my research in terms of the field that I am in,
Yeah.
I do a lot of listening to a gentleman, late Nightingale. He says that the challenge in life is that most entrepreneurs, when they venture into a field, industry, all of us, we strive to emulate whatever that those we find in that industry is doing. But he said that back in the early years, the 80s, a New York Lambo dealer was asked, why do you keep on leading other car dealerships when the economy is going down? He said, every morning I wake up, have a cup of coffee, and I sit and I ask myself, what can I do now that 10 years from now won't be done? So that's what you need to strive for. Don't come into the field, like, for example, there's so many speakers. Why should they book you,
Yes.
outside of all these other speakers? What sets you apart? So I always strive to see how can my business be conducted in such a way that I'm being innovative. I'm not trying to be a copycat. It's much more easier, obviously, to copy and paste, not to invent the wheel and just push the wheel. But I would challenge entrepreneurs that you need to be innovative. Think 10 years from now. Do something that was never done before. I really admire this show so much because this is something that's close to my heart. As the Motivational Drive, we've got aspirations of publishing books, having shows such as this, our own radio show. So looking at you, you've got your own show. You did not wait for any whatever media house to start this show. You started it with your own resources. So that's the kind of innovation that I look up to. Don't wait for media houses before you start. I mean, there's YouTube. There's so many platforms that you can just start speaking, and then whoever finds you will find you moving. And entrepreneurs right now, we always want to go to this funding stakes and, I want capital. But what have you done? I want capital. What have you done? I mean, there's no investor that can put their money with no trace record of any progress.
Whoever comes to you must find you moving.
Exactly, sir.
And if you can't move, crawl.
Wow.
If you can't crawl, roll over. But at least do something.
Do something. Exactly. You need to do something consistently.
No, great. But what will you say are the recommendations that are based on your findings about the relationship that exists?
The relationships between government or between relationships between?
Yes, based on your findings, the research work that you have done.
Okay. Now, my relationships, my personal ones, I'll talk about within my speaking industry. Yes. There was no really that much of a relationship between large organizations. Let me talk about maybe schools.
Yes.
They wouldn't understand that, okay, you want to speak, they see it, but they'd never look at it from a professional point of view, like, you want to get paid just to speak, So that was one of the challenges that people don't understand, that at this day and time, we way are far from back then. We live in a day and time where people just get paid to kick a ball, We live in a day where just by speaking, your voice can be your invoice. So especially where I come from in Limpopo. In Joburg, there's so many entrepreneurs that don't mind attending seminars. There's so many corporates that don't mind paying speakers good money for them to come speak. In Limpopo, it's still a challenge. I host seminars and we don't pack it out as much as in Limpopo because it's still something that's really, the relationship is not there. We're still introducing this. People want you to speak, but they don't understand that you're doing it for a living. You're speaking, you need to get paid. They still think you just, speaking for the sake of speaking. And this is a profession.
We are talking about the corporate social responsibility.
Yes.
Maybe we made a mistake assuming that everybody understands what it is.
Yes.
Do you mind to unpack it for us?
Okay. Now, CSI or CSR is corporate social investment or corporate social responsibility. Now, every organization, once you reach a certain revenue, you're obligated, to share a certain percentage to the community that's buying from you. You have to give whatsoever, And, I love the CSI because it promotes kindness of giving, but some entrepreneurs, business people, they're only doing it for tax incentives for the sake of CSR. But the kind of giving that really is close to my heart is a cheerful giver. For the Lord loves cheerful giver.
Yeah.
You know, according to the economics, worldly economics, it says, you know, keep as much as you earn. But kingdom economics, which opens the doors for a huge abundance of finance, it says give. The more you give, the more you have. But we don't really understand. Most people just give for the sake of, you know, tax and all that. But I want to challenge the viewers, you know, to give for the sake of giving it from the bottom of your heart. And I always respect people that gave when it was the most hardest to give. Because it's much more easier, like the story in the Bible where the woman gave her last money. And then there were those that gave a lot, more than what she gave, but who did God regard as the most giver? The one that gave few, but it was her last, you know. So you don't have to give someone something that you yourself don't want, you know.
In other words, God does not look at how much you gave.
Yes.
But he looks at how much is left.
Exactly.
After you gave.
Exactly.
If you have got R1,000,000, you give R1,000, you haven't done a thing.
Not at all.
Comparatively speaking to a person who has got R5,000 and gave R1,000.
Exactly. And in this topic, we're not talking about tithing, because tithing it's non-negotiable. You know, tithing is the 10% that makes the remainder meaningful. You know, we're talking about what do you do with that 90%, you know. I mean, if you can look at the most wealthiest people in the world, they give a lot sums of money, you know. And I once listened to Jim Rohn, I listened to him a lot, where he said, I forgot the name of the gentleman, he said he lived to create a lot of wealth, where in his lifetime he gave 90% of his wealth away. Most people can't even do that. I'm talking about people that...
So it's not even tithing?
Not even tithing.
It's 90-year thing.
He's giving away 90%.
To put it that way.
And most people say, is that guy crazy?
Yeah.
But then Jim Rohn says, you know what? This kind of shows, this kind of platforms, why am I here? I'm here to inspire you in such a way that you'll create so much wealth that you will give 90% and you'll still be well off with the 10%. You know, that kind of giving propels you to a certain realm that average people can never reach to, you know.
Can you perhaps outline to the viewers out there ways in which companies can engage in CSR?
Okay. Now, scrolling on my Facebook yesterday, I saw a gentleman, I guess maybe the Lord works in mysterious ways. Maybe he knew I was going to speak about giving. This guy owns a company, he's from Soshanguve, and he did a poster. He said, help me on this particular day to help me give muffins and coffee to students that will be studying at a library in TUT. You know, he knows that it's exam times. There will be students that will go to the library, someone didn't eat, it's cold, they're freezing, just to bring them a cup of coffee and a muffin. It's something, you know, you're giving as companies, you know, it does not have to be something that's huge. Also, obviously, depends on your revenue. But, you know, for aspiring entrepreneurs, it does not have to be something that's massively big. But just to show the same entrepreneurs that buy products from you, that support, that gives you profit, show that you care about them. You know, you maintain the customer relationship. You know, just show them that, you know what, buying from me, it really means a lot. Here's something back for you. You can buy them blankets. It does not have to be something major, you know. Yes.
Well, as long as Africa remains a missionary field, she will forever remain in poverty. As Africans, if we need to come out of this poverty scourge, you may want to call it a curse. It's not a curse. It's simply because we do not give. It's an underlying biblical principle. Blessed is the hand that gives than the hand that receives. And if you don't give, let me guarantee you, you will forever remain poor. This is a principle that works for whosoever. It does not work for Christians only. It works for whosoever. Whether you're a Jew, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim, you're a heathen, it's a godly principle that works for everyone. The secret for your success, the secret for you to come out of poverty is through your giving and nothing else. You can pray until you are blue in your face. You can shout, money cometh to me right now. But let me assure you, until you giveth, money shall not cometh. We are talking CSR, the community initiatives. Lehlohonolo, tell me, what are the advantages of CSR to both the company and the community which they operate in?
Wow. Thank you so much for having me on your show once again. You know, the advantage from let's start from the customer point of view. If I'm a customer, I'm buying from you, and then besides that, let me just start by this, you know, because it actually happened to me a few days ago, where someone I look up to just called me and he said, you know what, this morning I just thought of you. I just said I should give you a call and say good morning. I mean, I'm talking about someone that's, most hard to access, one of the busiest people. That call just alone really made my day, you know. So looking at from a point of a customer, someone that you're always buying from, if they just come, let's say maybe they bring soups. Let's say it's a rural community. It's winter, they bring soups. That means a lot to you. And you don't even feel like, you don't worry when you buy from them, you know. And then from a business point of view, your customers like you more because people don't buy into business, they buy into people. People like and trust you even more, so it's much more easier for your customers to buy from you. People buy into people, you know. They don't buy into whatever that you're selling, you know. So just before the break, as you were saying, if you don't give, you will not be blessed. We've got two hands, one to give and one to receive. But certainly, we've been conditioned to always be like this. You can't even receive with your hands closed. You know, people always want to receive, but they're not willing to stretch for their arms. You know, Zig Ziglar said that you can have everything in life you want if you just help enough people get in life what they want. And looking in your book, where you spoke about the same subject that we're talking about, social responsibility, you started the title with the Winston Churchill quote, where it says, we can get more in life, we can make a life by. Can you please quote that quote for me?
You quote it for me.
Okay, we make a life.
I want to see if you're a good student.
Okay,
good. Yeah,
we make a life
you're right.
by what we give.
That's it.
And then we make a living by what we get.
That's it.
Which is true, you know.
Now you have passed the test.
Now I'm glad I passed.
Okay.
You know, and it boils back to the previous show. When I was in your show, we spoke about the fact that how many times you failed the formal education. But when you moved in doing what you're passionate about, you grasp it. I mean, for me to grasp the solve for X, it didn't make sense for me. But, you know, it's much more easier when I grasp codes from yourselves, when I grasp codes from people, El Nightingale, I catch them so easily so. But for me to sit in a class and solve for X, you know, different paths for different people, you know. So this subject, it's really close to my heart, and I just pray that these viewers that are watching actually get an impact, you know, and then they do an impact within their communities and start doing something, you know. And, you know, giving starts with just a mere compliment, you know, just by saying to someone, you know what, you look beautiful this morning. You find that someone woke up, no one has ever told them that you look beautiful, you know, in the past year. You telling them that's just a simple compliment, it means a lot. It's not about giving. People always think about money, and it's not only about money. You can give your time to the Lord. You can give so many things. I mean, to me, compliments mean a lot. That's why I always try by all means to give compliments, you know, and not to get something in return. Because I realize that when I'm around a well of people, they're always asking, what can I do for you? How can I serve you? But, you know, poor people and average people are always trying to look at what can I get from this?
What can I get from him?
And
that is wrong.
It's wrong. As soon as they find that they can't get anything from Mr. Ngobeni, then they run away to the next person. And, you know, just like dogs, people can smell it when you're just there to suck them out.
And, you know, we can all give.
Exactly.
We all have got something that we can give. It may be however little, but at least there's something. You know, I remember when God went to Moses. God went to Moses and said, go tell my Pharaoh to let my people go. And Moses wrestled with God to and fro. And eventually God said to Moses, what do you have in your hand? That tells me that everybody has got something in their hand. It may not be that big. It may be very small. But the more you give is the more you grow to the next level.
Exactly.
Then you give at that next level. And the more you give at your next level is the more you grow to another level. In other words, you're moving from glory to glory.
Wow.
And you'll be singing that song with audacity. Wang sukala, wang susala, wang bekala, wang susala, wang bekala. You know, otherwise, you'll be singing a song forever and ever and ever. But anyway, as we conclude the show, what word of encouragement do you have to the entrepreneurs, to the businessmen there regarding CSR?
Yes. You know, we were talking about giving, mostly to the community or whoever, but the most important thing that you need to give yourself in your work.
Yeah.
Immerse yourself, give yourself what you deposit is what you withdraw. So work, so that you can be able to give through the CSI, or else you'll always be a receiver if you don't work.
Take me through your speaking engagements. Do you have any coming?
Yes, my major speaking engagement is in September in Zambia. You know, you can follow me on Instagram as Lehlohonolo Thoabala, where I'll be posting the dates. Facebook, Lehlohonolo Thoabala, YouTube, Lehlohonolo Thoabala. Thank you so much.
And do you have any books on the pipeline?
I've got an ebook that's already circulating, you know, unleashing the person deep inside of you. If you read it, you'll see that everyone's got two people inside, the bad and the good. You know, you have to decide which one to listen to. And then I've got an upcoming book. As I said on the previous show, it addresses from your young age all the way to your older people. I'll not give away the title, but it's in the process.
But how does viewers out there get your current book?
Okay.
Which is out there. How can they get it?
It's an ebook. Email me at lehlohonolothoabala@icloud.com. And then I can email you the ebook. Or if you can just drop me a DM and then you ask the book, I'll request for an email, give me your email, and then I'll get it sent to you. It's a 9-page ebook. Yes, that just...
I'm not going to request it. You are going to give it to me.
No, amen. I'll just send it through to you just after this show. I'm
waiting for it.
Wow.
Well, Lehlohonolo, thank you very much for honoring us and being a part of this great show, which impacts life and changes life out there.
Thank you so much for the invite, sir.
No, thanks. Great. Well, viewers out there, that's all the time we had with the great Lehlohonolo Thoabala. I am Charles Ngobeni signing off on Marketplace. You can get hold of me on website, charlesngobeni.com, Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or you may like me on Facebook. Go onto the Facebook, you like me. You will receive daily motivational clips on a daily basis, and your life will never be the same. Well, see you next time, same channel.